Hi viewers, me and team here, and welcome to a 2-on-2 random team game. This is, if you may or may not recall, still in the Platinum League from way back in the day, following my placement matches, where I pretty much Zergling rushed in 2s, I believe, and got lucky. Anyway, I was placed in Platinum, and since then, I've been playing mostly one-on-one games. So, I'm back to 2s for a little bit, just, as a change of pace. And here we have Incognegro, my ally. He's the red Terran. I'll be the main team, blue Zerg. Got the teal Terran Ooze. And of course, Protoss Gosu play. Alright then. I'm sure he'll be pro in the Korean sense. Anyway, I've been trying to experiment with other builds, and, a lot of times, at least recently, I decided that I can use 2-on-2 as a warm-up for my one-on-one games. Get my APM in order, make sure I've got all my hotkeys practiced up, make sure I'm remembering when to inject lava and all that jazz. Anyway, I go 14 pool and gas, I think I did. I've been playing around with 12 pool though, and that might be a little safer, so I might start doing that. We get scouted, my ally scouts, so yeah. Because I saw his probe, I didn't send mine out, because my ally sent something out much earlier than I would have. And he sees dual gate, which makes me think zealots, and that's usually the case. I mean, my ally's good at scouting here, because he even sees the likelihood of reapers. I've seen Tech Lab and Factory. And he calls that the opponent is rushing tanks. Oh yeah, he does. I was wondering why they had slow reapers. Anyway, my ally apparently saw that and called my attention to it. But when I saw the barracks and Tech Lab and dual gate, knowing that I'm the only person on the frickin' map that can't wall off, although the Protoss opted to not wall off either, I figured I'd probably be the target of an attack. And sure enough, here it is. I'm pulling this back here a little bit so we can see that. Protoss gets some really actually kind of late with the Zealots. I don't know what he was hoping to accomplish with this. Even Zerglings would have easily destroyed this. But he decides to come after me with Zealots. Seeing Zealots, though, and the possibility of Reapers, I decided to go one base, but also Roaches. Apparently Roaches are a little slow off the creep for kiting. But there's no way he's going to touch me on the creep, so I would have just kited him forever. And he doesn't like what he sees and runs away. So that's that. My ally here going Marines Marauders, extra creative Terran, absolutely. And I'm going to say this here in the video, I really hate Terran right now. Or maybe less that I hate Terran and more that I really hate how Terran on every single map in existence can do this right here. They can just build a wall. Every single map has a ramp to their main that can be walled off with very minimal effort. So here my ally mysteriously calls that he wants a hit. So I'm going to do it. And bring along my roaches. And my sense here was telling me that with the multiple gates early and Terran rushing for tanks, that we weren't going to get very far doing this. But I decided to be a good teammate, check it out, and whoa! But I did tell him that be ready to go back, and yeah, it was time to go back when we walked into siege mode tanks. We were actually a little bit behind here, for a little bit. Let's check at the units here. Yeah, we are red and blue, so we are a bit behind, yes. But for whatever reason, they didn't hit us right at that moment, and once I start getting Mutalisks, which will be very shortly after that, because I hid my spy over here, then it's not going to be so easy on this particular army anymore, because really they're only anti-airs, the Stalkers and the Marines. But if they come after us, they do not have any missile turrets up yet, or any air defense, other than their units. So this is going to force them to come after me, and I'm obviously going to get to kill some workers. So, hooray! I love killing workers. Good times. It's also good for scouting. I get to see that they have. I'm not sure why Red's throwing a question mark. This is, at least from my understanding, fairly standard Mutalisk play. I was kind of hoping for a supply lock here, but wow, Terran was oversupplied, really. Which, okay. Well, I guess it's better he spends his money inappropriately rather than building well. And now that they pulled their units up here, I can come down, get more SCV kills in your base, killing your dudes. I don't know why Purple is saying turret go to us. Maybe that's a little bit of a misclick there. I do like Mutalisks when the Terran goes hard on like things that can't hit them, like tanks. And once we got shelled by tanks and I saw in the probability of early Zealot play, that's really what prompted me to go for Mutas in this game. But I like Mutas in general. They're like one of the few Zerg units that are just a total waste. So I finally back out. I take a pot shot on the Colossus, but the Stalkers are on me, so. Also, I put up an expansion, and really, my sole reasoning for this expansion, at least at first, was gas, because Zerg have a gas crisis every single game. So, yeah, usually when I expand it's for gas. I eventually do saturate the minerals. I'm a little bit under the worker count for pretty much everyone here for the whole game, except for the light blue Terran, and the only reason I'm beating him in worker count is because I killed a good chunk of his workers. So if we look at the income tab, yeah, actually they're ahead of us pretty soundly, except for in gas. They're going more mineral heavy, we're going more gas heavy, I guess. I'm really as good as anyone in gas. So that's good, because that's what I need the most of. I have a 1-to-1 gas ratio on my primary unit. Whereas my opponents are a bit more mineral heavy, I guess. Well, Stalkers are more mineral heavy. Tanks do cost a decent chunk of gas. Yeah, they're actually almost 1-to-1 themselves. I really hate this. I can't wait for these to be nerfed, but they're not, so Air will take care of them. Anyway, like I was saying, a lot of the Zerg units are really frail, and they kind of suck. But in the case of Mutas, they can be really nasty with critical mass, and even killing ground-to-air stuff that a lot of the other races can decide to do. So I've been working on getting good with them and building them more often. Just, you know, expand my gameplay ability a little bit. And I figured a good avenue for this would be twos, just to practice my build order, timings, all that, before taking it to serious diamond play. I do have a diamond game or two where I used Mutas, once in Mirror, a couple times Zerg vs. Terran in one. So they're pretty solid. And the thing I really like about them against Terran is if you magic box them, the enemy really needs to be Thor heavy to use Thors to counter. And if they counter with Marines, you can just screw them over with Banelings. But yeah, you notice once you have this many, they're really, the Mutalisks can really be a handful to deal with. And now he's going Vikings, but just look at the damage. Yeah, 10 damage to Mutalisks because they're not armored. Air-to-air, weapon speed 2. They have more range, but the Mutalisks have more DPS. So Vikings, they're okay as a counter, but they're not going to completely dominate Mutalisk, especially with the bouncing glaives, which really brings up the DPS for Mutas. So yeah, now I'm just being a major nuisance. This stuff's all down here still, and I'm just waiting for them to come out of their base, harassing them, giving my teammate time, and whatever. And look at this, and this is just silly. Once you have this many, a couple turrets aren't gonna ward you off. And apparently, part of Gosu play is calling your attacks. Like this is a bad anime or something. I choose tank attack! And here they come. Or I guess he's using Stalkers. But that doesn't sound as cool. I guess. I don't know. So they come after us, and I wreck their base really hard. Like, they better hope this attack succeeds, or they're dead. And the other nice thing about Mutalisks is that, unlike a lot of the Zerg troops, really only them and Zerglings have enough speed to really attain the coveted map control that supposedly Zerg has. So you might as well play for that. And I really wrecked them here. He's down to 6 SCVs. Now over here, my ally's going to struggle. I kind of wish my ally would have just pulled back, because I'm coming back now. But notice how there's a small force of Marines, decent force of Stalkers, and absolutely nothing else can hit air. They're really hard on siege, despite seeing the Mutalisk. I was a little bit surprised to see that the Terran just kept pounding out the tanks after this. So my ally's going to get his expansion taken out here. As there's, I'm not going to be able to get back in time before he's at least going to lose some workers or something, or so I thought anyway. And in come the Mutalisks, and the 23 Stalkers. Stalkers also barely better against Mutalisks than Mutalisks are against Stalkers. It's not going to cut it, especially with the bouncing glaives like this. I mean, look at that. Compared to how many mutas I lost, he just got wrecked there. And now all these tanks are just fodder. So my ally didn't lift off his command center and lost it. Apparently I never saw Igosu Play's little observer chasing the battlecruiser around. But at this point, it's really bad. Like, they have nothing. And the Terran has been damaged to the point where he probably can't rebuild in the near future. Whereas my Cheese Master actually still has way too many minerals and a complete base. So there you go. Looking at army sizes. And yeah, I killed those tanks off before they got back home. And I'm just going to pick off a couple extra buildings and smack the Terran around a bit. Here I just wanted to hit the building and run, and it didn't work out. Yeah, as you can see, the army size is definitely favoring my side. Both myself and my ally have more than... Oh no, my ally's behind, so I'm ahead of Purple, but I have... Purple's the only person on their team with anything of substance. And then my ally, while he isn't huge, has enough to help me out at least. Although I probably could have just hit. I didn't want to risk it at this point. I felt like I was in a good position without risking it. So I just run back. We can get their units lost. Surprisingly enough, one of the Terrans is the worst in that department. And wow, and just look at that. Considering the number of Stalkers we were seeing in that stack, it's kind of surprising that I'm leading with units lost. So this is one of the Zerg's best options. Probably I feel like sometimes it's their only late game option, but what can you do? At least not a lot of things can deal with it easily if you micromanage them well and harass with them well anyway. So I'm going to come out of the units lost way ahead here, as you can see. I mean, I'm already up 6,000 almost on most of the other players. Yeah, here come the Stalkers, and they're not even willing to attack me because they're just taking too much damage. And when they run away, they're taking damage without even firing back, and that's really awful. I mean, yeah, they get a couple spot shots off with the cannons, but they lose 2 Stalkers in the process. Yay, let's show off APM, even though mine's not going to be impressive at all. And here I'm just like, you know what, screw it. They don't have enough. I'm just going to leave my guys in here and clean up. A couple of cannons at this point isn't going to do anything to this many Mutalisks, and I have upgraded them to 1-1. Second upgrades are coming. So this is going to be a good game, and I've warmed up to a new Zerg strategy. So maybe in the future, some more of my videos will be this rather than 6-pull or Baneling Bust. So more dynamic, absolutely. Me and team, signing off.